Today, we're discussing the Robotic Drone for 7 Days to Die Alpha 20 Experimental. Now, we've got a lot of info to cover and no time to waste, so let's get to it. Let's face it, folks, the zombie-filled post-apocalyptic world of 7 Days to Die is a rather lonely place to live. Now, don't get me wrong, Bob's a good guy. Trader Joel, he's pretty cool. Jen is an absolute sweetheart. Hugh is a jerk, and don't even get me started on Trader Wrecked. Trader Wrecked! But I wouldn't exactly describe the traders as social butterflies. To them, it's all work, work, work. Trying to invite them out to Buzz's bar for a drink after hours, and it's excuse after excuse after excuse. And trying to make friends with the zombies doesn't usually work out for you. Well, Alpha 20 for 7 Days to Die finally introduced a helpful and friendly companion. I'm talking about the Robotic Drone. So today we'll take a look at my little robot friend and discuss all of its features and abilities. So let's start off with the basics. As with most items in this game, the Robotic Drone has 6 quality tiers. Now, the only difference between these tiers is the health and durability rating, as well as the mod slots. Tier 1 and 2 drones have 1 mod slot available. Tiers 3 and 4 have 2 mod slots available. Tier 5 has 3 mod slots available. And Tier 6 has 4 mod slots available. One interesting thing to point out is that it appears that Tier 5 has more health and durability than Tier 6. I spawned in multiple Tier 6 robotic drones, and all of them had at least 100 health lower than the Tier 5. So it's a little bit of a trade-off. The Tier 5 has more health, but less mod slots. But in my opinion, the mod slot is probably more beneficial. The Robotic Drone is governed by the Robotics Inventor perk. However, since the Robotic Drone has no offensive capabilities, this perk only really affects the crafting quality level. As you increase your Robotics Inventor perk, you can craft higher quality robotic drones, up to Tier 5. Much like everything else in this game, you cannot craft quality 6 robotic drones. Another important thing to point out is that in order to craft a robotic drone, you must find the robotic drone schematic. There is no other way to unlock robotic drone crafting in 7 days. But once you find the schematic, you are also going to need robotic parts, forged steel, duct tape, scrap polymers, and motion sensors. Now keep in mind that the amount of items that you will need will increase as you increase your Robotics Inventor perk. The higher the quality of drone you're trying to craft, the more resources you are going to need. It's also important to point out that the Robotic Drone does not count against your total of active robots. So it is completely possible to have a robotic drone and up to 2 other robots active at the same time if you max out the Robotics Inventor perk. That is pretty darn cool. So once you've crafted your robotic drone or found one in loot, it's time to put that bad boy to use. All you have to do is put it in your inventory, set it down like you would any other robot.
It is good to be online.
And you're good to go. You can interact with the drone to bring up the radio menu. In the radio menu, you can access the robotic drone's storage, tell it to wait, meaning it will no longer follow you and stay in the position that it is currently in until you come back and get it. You can lock your drone or make it so you need the key code in order to access the drone, or you can talk to the drone. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it talks. While I wouldn't exactly say that the robotic drone is a great conversationalist, it does have a few lines of voice-acted dialogue.
It is good to be online. It is a pleasure to serve.
And hey, it does do you the solid of at least warning you if Arlene happens to show up.
Incoming enemies. Prepare for conflict.
No, Arlene, I don't need you to punch me in the face today. Thank you. And of course, if you want to pick up your drone, all you have to do is click on the little hand icon here, and you'll pick up your drone and put it back in your inventory.
Goodbye then, for now.
Now let's take a look at a few of the mods available for your little robot friend. First up, we have the Armor mod. Installing this mod will upgrade your robotic drone's defensive ability, reducing damage and degradation by 50%. Now, oddly enough, you can install multiple armor plating mods. However, the effects do not stack. Next up, we have the Robotic Drone Cargo mod. This increases the storage capacity of your robotic drone. Initially, your robotic drone will have 16 available inventory slots. By adding in the cargo mod, you can increase this number by 8. And this mod does stack, meaning if you install 4 robotic drone cargo mods onto your quality 6 robotic drone, you can increase the storage capacity of your drone all the way up to 48 slots. Next up, we have the Robotic Drone Morale Booster mod. By installing this mod on your drone, you will increase your stamina regeneration by 10% when near the drone. And as we all know, in 7 Days to Die, stamina is the key. So having a boost to your stamina regeneration is definitely a good thing. Once again, you can install multiple morale booster mods onto your drone, but again, unfortunately, these do not stack. You will only ever get a 10% boost. The next mod is the Robotic Headlamp mod, and as the name implies, this adds a headlamp to your drone. Unfortunately, it is a rather weak light. It doesn't illuminate things too much. Honestly, a helmet light mod is much brighter and does the job much better. However, it is important to point out that in the current Alpha 20 experimental version, the robotic drone does not affect your noise level. But the devs have indicated that in the future, the robotic drone will absolutely affect your noise level. So maybe in the future, the headlamp mod might be useful. Any stealth player out there knows turning on your headlight will dramatically increase your noise level. Perhaps the headlamp won't affect your noise level nearly as much. We'll just have to wait and see. Couple the headlamp mod with the ability to put the robotic drone into quiet mode, and it seems that the Fun Pimps have some very interesting plans for the drone in the future. Again, we're just gonna have to wait and see. And the last modification currently available for your little robot friend is the Medic mod. Modify your drone into a robotic field medic that will automatically heal you as long as medical bandages or first aid kits are in its inventory. This mod is pretty cool and can come in very handy if you find yourself surrounded and getting punched in the face by a whole bunch of zombie jerks. All you have to do is open up your robotic drone's storage, toss in a few healing items, and you're good to go. The robotic drone will automatically heal you once you take at least 50 points of damage.
Let me help you with that injury.
However, I would caution you, be careful. I never said that my little robot friend was the sharpest tool in the shed. If by chance you toss in a whole bunch of regular bandages into your drone storage and then take over 50 points of damage, your drone will continuously heal you. It will heal you over and over and over again with the regular bandages, which do nothing. So be very careful what medical supplies you place in your drone storage. And another thing I need to point out about my little robot friend is that sometimes it struggles to keep up with you. As you're making your way through a POI, the drone does on occasion get a little lost. It seems to have the most difficulty when dealing with rapid elevation changes inside POIs. For instance, my little robot friend and I hit up the cathedral and I made my way to the loot room. But no matter how hard I tried, I could not coax my little robot friend to join me in the loot room. Once I went up this ladder here and made my way across the roof, the robotic drone was like, nah, I'm good where I'm at, bud. You go loot the goodies. I'm gonna wait for you here. But as I said, folks, the zombie apocalypse apocalypse is a lonely, lonely place. So sure, the robotic drone has issues, and may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but for all of its flaws and shortcomings, I'm so glad to have met my little robot friend. Someone to join me in all of my zombie-filled adventures, or someone to just hang out with me at Buzz's Bar after a long day of looting and slaying to enjoy a nice cold adult beverage. My little robot friend may not be perfect, but hey, who is? It's just good to have a friend in the zombie apocalypse. Now me and my friend are gonna kick back at Buzz's Bar and have a couple cold ones. And if you folks would like to see some more of my Alpha 20 update videos, I've created a very special playlist that you can access by clicking the box in the top right corner of the screen. But for now, this is Savin saying thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll catch you in the next one.